Okay, I'm back today to do something a little different. I'm going to be going over some TexTools basics this time. Uh, it's going to be two videos, but here in this first video, I'm going to be going over some simple stuff like how to use the UI, how to import and export files, and how to import and export mod packs. So to start with, I'm going to just jump right into it. And as you can see here, this is sort of what you might see when you first come into TexTools. And we'll look at this first from the angle of somebody exporting things. Maybe they want to go make stuff in Blender, etc. So browsing around and finding equipment should feel pretty simple. Just select it there, or you can type in whatever you want, find the items, etc. Makes a lot of sense. However, there's a couple complications or interesting notes. One is that the basic body, or nude body, if you will, is under small clothes. It's not actually part of the character body. That's how SE has it. It is essentially an extra gear set or meat suit, if you will, that your character equips. Now, under faces, you may also notice for a lot of these, there's not like names to things like this. They just have numbers. Similarly, for monsters, they're just a series of numbers. They're numbered. The actual name of most monsters is not in the game. Mounts, you'll see like this, have names, but other random actually just enemy monsters are just a number. So if you're looking to export a whole bunch of monster models, you may have to browse around or use a tool like Anamnesis or something to find the monster ID that you're looking for. That said, once you've found whatever it is you're looking for, let's go to this Tantalus vest, and you get into the viewer, the first thing to note is that these bars, the main navigation bars here, go left to right. So starting at the hamburger menu even, these items all affect the whole model, or the whole item entirely. The metadata is shared for the whole item, etc. And then you have the model. Each model has a number of materials, and when you look at the material bar, you will only see the ones used by that model. So in this case, we're looking at the Midlander female textures or materials. And then likewise, the textures are only the ones shown by that material. For a few things like icons, they're also listed as materials, even though it's not really a material, and you can find the icons under there. That should feel pretty straightforward and pretty clear, even after just a few minutes of usage just to find what you're looking for. But if it doesn't, now you know. And then likewise, saving things out should feel pretty simple. Save as, just like in any sort of other editor. There's also a hotkey for it, as Control A, and you can save things as different formats, either by selecting from that drop down there, or just clicking the main Save As button and selecting a drop down here, or typing in the extension you want. And this is the same for all of the different views. Every view in TexTools 3.0 is the same. Whether you're editing a material or a texture, you have these same buttons down here. You also have a copy and paste button, and you also have a button to pop an individual item or file out to its own new window. There's no limit on the number of windows you can have, and typically speaking, they will all update in real time whenever you save a file. Now, that covers the basic, I just want to export stuff out of TexTools case, but most people probably want to either import and create things or import mods to use them in game. So to start with, for today, and for this video specifically, we're going to be operating in unsafe mode. All you need to know right now about that is safe mode prevents you from editing your game files in any way accidentally, right? It doesn't want to let you mess up your game if you didn't mean to. Since in this case, we want to install mods, we want to actually change the game files, we're going to go ahead and change to unsafe. If you're using TexTools as a mod loader, like an end user just trying to use mods on day one of Dawntrail, you're going to probably be wanting to operate in unsafe mode typically. And so in this case, I can go ahead and start editing files. For example, I could import, do I have a good texture anywhere? Some random texture. And you'll see when I first import it, if I try to change away from it, it'll tell me, wait, you have unsafe changes. That's a little different from TexTools 2.0. TexTools 2.0, as soon as you hit load or import, it would immediately put them in game. Now, again, this operates more like Photoshop or Paint or something like that, where you have to manually click save. to confirm that you want to keep your changes. So you click Save. It immediately saves them to Final Fantasy XIV. If you happen to be, for example, in safe mode and you try to hit save, it'll tell you can't do that because you're in safe mode. Again, doesn't want to let you edit your files if you did not mean to. Now, that's one way to edit files, but nobody really wants to just import every single file by hand. That sounds miserable, so we have mod packs. And that is simple to do. You just go to Mod, Import Mod Pack, and then find the mod pack you want to import. Okay, so importing this item. If you're importing a mod which contains all of the files for an individual item, you will also be greeted with this screen. Now you can just click continue and ignore anything here and it'll go ahead and install the mod. But if you wanted to, you can install the mod to different items. This is only the case when the mod pack contains all of the files necessary to do so, so you won't always see it. But if you wanted to, you could. And so in this case, this was going to the Tantalus vest. And I could go ahead and install it onto any other body piece I wanted to, or even install it as an accessory on like a ring or something, in which case it will go ahead and remove all of the normal skin parts and just install the cloth. In this case, though, we want to go ahead and just install it to where it was intended on this Tantalus body. See, it automatically upgrades everything for Dawn Trail. It takes just a second. And then now you'll see these files are updated. If I go check here, you can see the new model, etc. And at this point, the mod's in game. It's ready to be used. I could go boot up Dawn Trail theoretically if it was online right now. Excuse me. And I would be all modded up and ready to go. Now, importing mod packs, though, is only one half of things. Sometimes you want to export mod packs. Maybe you're a creator and you're like, okay, how do I actually get this back out? You have a few different options for doing that. Starting from the most basic is the From Files option. This will show you a list of all of the files you have modified in TexTools. It'll only show the modified files, not anything that's just base game files. And you can just fill in a name, whatever, a description. You can include an image if you want, and you can select whichever files you feel like you want to add. And whenever you're done, you just click Export Files, and it'll allow you to create a mod pack. And you can save pretty much every menu as a PMP or TTMP2. It's real easy. Just click Save, you're done. There's one other really easy way to save things just offhand. At any point in time in any of these views, you can go to Save As, and just save as a mod pack. Oh, let me get rid of my debug code. And you'll just get this menu. It allows you to choose a location if you want. Save it as like a TTMP2. This menu happens to only support the TTMP2s. And you hit save, and it will save the mod pack. Very simple. And you can, again, when we're in that menu, you can choose to just export only the file in question. So if I turn this off, it will be just the model. If I include the child files, it include everything beneath that, everything that makes it up, right? So the child files in this case would mean all of the materials and textures and that sort of stuff that goes in to make the model completely. And that's turned on by default. So again, that's just another easy way to make a mod pack. We have one more relatively simple way to make a mod pack. That's going to create mod pack from items. And this is sort of like a very simple, I don't know what I'm doing, I just want everything for an item, right? So maybe I had a mod that's on the Mikote vest, and I select that item and I just want everything, or you can just choose just some models, whatever. Simplest is just choose everything. Just keep clicking confirm. You could add more items if you wanted to, or you go to the final review here, fills in a default name, all that, whatever you want to say. Yeah, that's fine. Create mod pack. Again, this one is PMPs and TTMP2s, whatever you want. Save it. For those mod pack types, both TexTools and Penumbra can both import both kinds of mods. It doesn't really matter which one you save it as 99% of the time. PMPs do support a few more options that TTMPs don't. So under most cases, I would just say export as a PMP when the option is available, but it's not going to make a difference most time. Anyway, that covers the basics of importing and exporting mod packs into simple level. I'm not going to go over the advanced mod pack creator right now because it is, as the name implies, very advanced. But that should hopefully get you an idea of how to get started editing things. You've got these basic view layouts. You know how to load individual files. Most of these other buttons to play with what's going on in the editors are pretty straightforward. For example, I could fill the red channel with black here, wipe out all the red. or I could go over here to the model and play with the model editor, those sorts of things. But again, you have the same process. Whenever you're done, you hit save to Final Fantasy XIV. That's also hotkey, so you can just press Control S if you want. And then, whenever you're done, you create a mod pack like we talked about, and you're set. The one last thing to go over is, how do I reset everything? I am sick of all of this. Nothing's working right. Don't just uninstall TexTools. That will not remove your mods. You need to go to Help and Start Over. So remove all mods from the game files and close all of your editors, etc., etc. Essentially, it's telling you you're going to lose all your changes. Yes. So you go ahead and click Start Over. Wait a little bit for it to finish. And we're back to where we started. At this point, my game no longer has any mods installed. It's just like a fresh download, etc. If you still have any sort of issues persisting in any way, shape, or form, go up here and do Help, Download Index Backups. That should be very quick. And then do Start Over again. That will just make sure that all of the backup files are completely up to date with the real game files. Sometimes people can have weird backups if they installed TexTools when they already had mods built into the game files, or they were using other tools like XIV Alexander to install mods alongside TexTools, different things like that. That should cover all the basics. I'm going to be doing another video that will cover transactions and mod safety in terms of how do you actually edit mods without messing with your game install. But this should cover the initial kind of how to use TexTools.